Hello everyone, I'm Farmer Sim and welcome back to Etruria. I do hope you're all doing really well and having a great day. So you find me out in what was the wheat field that we cut in the last couple of episodes across the live stream, and a bit of the last episode there as well. I'm in the F140 and I am running the Dondi 800 subsoiler. Now I've wanted to put this thing to the test for a little bit now, because interestingly, well, it's a bit of a beast to start off with, this mod. It's really good. But one thing that's always kind of got me a bit, but it's brilliant, is the fact that the mod itself, in its current form, at 4 meters wide with the cultivator attachment on the back as well, in the menus, it says it requires 370 horsepower. So ordinarily you'd think, right, I need a real big, beefy tractor to operate this thing. But I'm in my F140 here. This is a small tractor and it has 165 horsepower. And here we are up a hill at 6 miles an hour. The running speed of this machine is 7 miles an hour. And like I say, we're currently on admittedly a relatively slight incline. But this thing batters it. It absolutely hammers along. So, yeah, it's a cracker, this. It really is. The tractor's a beast as well, let's be honest. But yeah, it's a great little mod. It... with the cultivator attachment on the back, the black roller at the back there, you can equip it or unequip it in the menus, so it can run as a subsoiler on its own, or a subsoiler and cultivator in one. So that's what I'm doing here at the minute, running that and getting both of those done. Now you don't get the overlay in the PDA from both of them. It either does one or the other. But if you jump out of the menu, jump out of the cab here, you can see there kind of the in between the yellow and the black of the implement, it is subsoiling, it's ploughing, and then cultivating immediately afterwards. So, yeah, it's a great mod from EdoMod. I've got to say, it's a really cracking bit of kit. Goes well with this tractor, and yeah, it's doing a great job. So, like I said before, I have wanted to put this thing to the test. So this is actually the second field that I've done so far. Off camera, I did one of the carrot fields that we did in the last episode, just to test it and run it, and all in all, it's a cracking bit of kit. So we've still got about an hour or so left in the field here to get this job done. I guess this incline's going to put it to the test, and especially with the manual gear shifting of this tractor, we'll go through about 4 or 5 gears here before we actually get moving. It's quite a hill, this one. 3 miles an hour here, but that can be expected. But yes, anyway, so moving forward, like I say, we've got about an hour or so left in this field, so I'm going to crack on with this. But moving on into the future and planning what we've got to do, of course, now we've got, well, I've now got just over 200,000 euros in the bank. We finished off the last episode after harvesting the carrots with about 190 grand in the bank. What I have done is I've actually got rid of that yellow Gigant low loader trailer that I started the series off when I went down to the shop to go pick up the telehandler. It was a bit surplus to requirements, and it was only about 20 grand, so I've just sold that. I don't really need it. We've got the Ponji trailer flatbed for shifting bales and pallets around and all that kind of stuff if we need in the future, so I didn't need that Gigant thing, so got rid of that. So 210 grand in the bank, that'll do. So I'm now in a very good position in that I can now afford to start pushing the farm forward. We've now got the finances to be able to buy the pigs and the sheep that we currently don't have, but I still need to do things in the correct order. It's all very well buying the pigs and the sheep, but I've got to be able to feed them, and as we stand right now, I still don't have all the ingredients. Obviously, to feed the sheep, I need the grass. We do have grass fields, 2 of them that we need to get cut. That needs to be something that I do as a matter of urgency. But again, until I buy the sheep, it's one of them. And also the pigs. Pigs obviously require a little bit more looking after and quite a few more products to feed. We need to give them a base food, a grain, a protein, and a root. Currently, we don't have any base food to give them. We don't have any corn, and we don't have any sorghum. We do have some little bit of wheat, I think it is, that we've got. We've got some wheat in the silo. We do have a very small amount of canola that we cut from the very first field that we did on the first episode, and eventually, come next month, we will have some sugar beets, because we do have a very big sugar beet field to get harvested as well. But so until I've got everything done in the correct order, I can't just go out and buy the pigs and the sheep. Obviously, I can get the sheep probably sooner than the pigs, because all that takes is the first cut of grass, which I'll be baling up both of them and getting that sorted. But like I say, it's a case of doing things in the correct order right now, because also one thing I need to do if I'm going to be when it comes to sorting out the protein side of the pigs. Like I said, we've got just under 15,000 litres of canola in the silo, but I need more of that. And currently in September we are within the planting window for canola, so that's why I've needed to get at least one of my fields turned around in order to be able to get some canola planted in this month. So that's what I need to get on with as a matter of urgency. So what I may need to do, and I think I did mention this an episode or so ago, is essentially, because I can't just, it's going to take a while for the canola to grow, to harvest is going to be several months. So what I think I'm going to need to do is simulate buying in several trailers worth of sorghum and of canola as well. Now I know I did, when it came to the field of canola that we harvested in the first episode, in an ideal world I should have probably just kept the whole lot, but we obviously, like I said, the whole premise of this starting the series was all of our starting cash was in the ground, so I needed to kind of split that field into some money in the bank and some crop in the silo. Now we didn't get a great yield, it wasn't massive, it wasn't great, it was just what the game gave us to start off with. So with that in mind, we put some in the silo and I put some in the bank, so to speak. So, but yeah, I am going to have to essentially simulate that. So I'll essentially just fill a few trailers worth and remove money from my account based on what current selling points are selling it for. Based on the 1,000 litres, I'll figure it out and pay for a trailer's worth of grain at that cost, as it were. So yeah, plan moving forward, I suppose. We've got something to aim towards. Now when it comes to the pigs and looking at all of our farm overall, we've got 7 fields, and in order for me to look after the animals that we will be getting at some point very soon, essentially I need 5 fields of crop. I need grass for the sheep, and I need 1 of each of the 4 ingredients for the pigs, the base, the grains, the protein and the roots. So of those products that we need to give to the pigs, we're going to be planting sorghum at some point. That's going to be our, the entirety of whatever field of sorghum we plant is going to be for the pigs. We give them wheat or barley for grains, and obviously we've got the canola that we'll be planting ASAP for the protein, and of course the relatively big field of sugar beet next door to us there is going to be as a backlog for their root crop ingredient. So yeah, we've got all that to do and all that to sort out. So essentially we've got 7 fields and I've got 2 fields of grass at the minute. So essentially one of our 7 fields is going to be as an absolute cash crop. As long as I've got 1 of each for the pigs and the grass for the sheep, then whatever we do plant in the last field is going to be solely for cash. So I need to think carefully about that, what's going to be the most valuable when it comes to sell time, and consider it in that respect. But yeah, but like I said, we do have the money to buy the pigs and the sheep now. If I buy 50 3-month-old pigs, that's going to come to roughly about 28.5 grand, and if I buy 50 8-month-old sheep, that's going to come to roughly about just under 27,000 pounds. So all in all, for the animals, it's going to involve an investment of just over 55,000 euros. So we've definitely got the money for it, but like I said before, we've got to do things in the correct order. So that's what I'm going to do. But anyway, for now, I need to crack on with this, get this field finished off. Moving again swiftly into the future, what we're going to be concentrating on today is obviously getting this field finished cultivating, and then I need to consider potentially leasing a lime spreader and getting some lime spread on the fields, possibly cutting the grass, and then moving forward into the future we're going to need to buy some seed and fertilizer, get the canola drilled, and then yeah, so there's lots to do. But anyway, yeah, need to crack on with this and get this one finished. So I'll shut up for now, throw this into a bit of a cinematic, and I'll see you soon. There we go. Cultivating done. Job done. Now we're at 5:45 in the evening, and one thing, going back to the list of jobs that I'd reeled off earlier on about, you know, what we've got to do moving forward, one thing that had actually I'd completely missed off that list was we are actually in the planting window for wheat and barley now as well. So I've really got to pull my finger out. So now that we've got that field cultivated, and this was the one here coming up on our left here, just next to the farm, that I cultivated off camera between episodes. I really need to get these now limed, get the pH value brought up to what they need to be, and then moving into tomorrow, the 2nd day of September, then we need to get those 2 fields drilled, get some canola in one of them, and wheat or barley in the other. So yeah, we need to, like I say, need to crack on and pull my finger out. The weather's good now. As I say, it's 5:45 in the evening. The forecast has given good weather for the rest of today and tomorrow, so planting's all good for tomorrow. Now I am running auto drive here at the minute, and considering the width of this thing that we've got hanging off the back of us, I'm hoping I should be able to thread away up this lane here without hopefully catching any bits of fence or trees either side of us. So hopefully it's going to manage it okay. But I think what we're going to do for this does need a top up of fuel. So I think what we are going to do, because I need to lease a lime spreader. We don't actually own a lime spreader, so I need to lease that. I'm not going to be leasing the big K165. I do have that mod installed. I'm just going to be running the smaller variant, but with the bigger capacity that I think holds about 14,000 litres. So I need to buy in a good chunk of lime. I think I'm going to buy... I think initially what I'll do is I'll buy in 16 pallets of lime, which shouldn't be too expensive. That should only be a few grand. Let me just pull this up to the fuel tank, and we'll get that fueled up as well. I don't actually think, on top of that as well, that I've actually got any diesel in here. Let's just have a quick look. No, 16.5 grand. Got to be done. We need fuel at the end of the day, so there we go. Let's get that filled up. Starting to get filled up anyway, and then we can leave that be for now. We'll go jump in our Deutz, which is currently in the wash bay, hooked up to the arm of salmon from the last episode that needs a clean, but we'll sort that out a little bit later on. Need to concentrate on the jobs that need doing. But yeah, I think this Deutscher is going to be the better option of the 2 tractors that we've got on the farm, just because yes, I know the F-140 there did cope very well and has coped very well running an implement that requires 370 horsepower, sitting at 165 horsepower itself. But bearing in mind the sheer weight of a lime spreader with 14,000 litres of lime, I think it would be a good idea just to jump in this thing with it having a bigger frame, a bit more power. I think it would be the right thing to do. So I'm going to scurry around now, get this job done. Like I say, I'm going to lease the lime spreader. We'll buy in... I've got no idea how far the lime's going to go. I'm going to buy in 16,000 litres. We get 2 portions of 8 pallets essentially. So I'll buy just over 1 whole lime spreader's worth of lime initially. We'll fill it up, see how far that goes, and I'll just gauge it from there and see how far we can make that line to go. So let's crack on. No time to waste. Let's get it sorted. Sorted, there we go, both fields limed, and it's now 7:15 in the evening, so it's getting pretty dark, so I think it's time to call it a day for today, of course. Go and have another night's kip in our incredible villa that we've got on our farm. But actually, first and foremost, what we need to do is get rid of the lime spreader that we've got leased here. So let's just, where are we now? Oh, switch mode, that's right, that's what we want. Fertilizer spreaders, return that, there we go. Lovely stuff. Done. Now, all in all, money-wise, that has taken from us €17,132. That's across the leasing of the spreader and the amount of lime that we just used. Don't get me wrong, I know I've just thrown away about 900 litres of the stuff that was left in the bottom of the tank there, but it is what it is. I'm not going to lose any sleep over that. So, like I said, liming done. Those two fields are now prepped and ready to get drilled. So that's what we're going to be cracking on with first thing tomorrow morning. We'll be sticking with the Deutzer here, and yeah, getting our canola and wheat or barley. I still haven't decided yet what I'm going to put in the ground with those two. We shall see. But either way, I'll get back to the farm now, and I'll see you in the morning. Good morning, everyone. Sun's shining, just gone 7:30 in the morning. Perfect day to get our first seeds into the ground. So we're going to be sticking with the Deutsch like we have just been with the last few bits and bobs that we've been working in the lime spreading, and we're going to be hitching up to the MA Ag SSP 45 here, this Italian liveried bright orange seed drill that we've got on the farm. Now, this is the first time I'll be using this thing. It's got a work width of about 5 meters, so it's yeah, I think it's size-wise, I think it's bang on for this size farm. I really do. But just harkening back to the jobs that we've just been doing, especially the lime spreading that we've just been working in before we went to sleep there in that time lapse that I put together. Now, I appreciate that the time lapse didn't cover the whole job. I get that, but some of you may well have noticed that even on the steep uphills and working that job, the tractor did still seem to struggle, even though we were in the Deutsch. It's got plenty of power, and I think one of the reasons why is because I'm actually now running a mod in this. This is the first time I've been running this particular mod in this save game. It's called More Realistic FS25, and it's by a modder called Quadural. I think that's how you pronounce it. And it's quite an overreaching mod, quite frankly. It seems to change a massive amount of the physics of the basic physics of the game when it comes to weight of your machinery, and inertia and torque curves and mass and all that kind of stuff, and it's quite a thing. So I believe that that's one of the reasons why that tractor seemed to struggle, because the reality is, and I know this all too well, is that this tractor is, for the job that we've just done with that lime spreader, this tractor's on the wrong tyres. It's currently on a set of narrow tyres, and so because it's not got the wide tyres to kind of spread its weight and get a bit more grip and spread the tyre mass out a bit, so sorry, spread the mass of the tractor out across the profile of the tyre, that's why it was kind of struggling, because it was like it was digging into the ground. And I believe that is now a function of this mod that I've got running. It's really quite cool. Now, if any of you are interested in that mod, it is linked. I've got to say a massive thank you again to Dutch Modelling. Hello, mate. If you're watching, he does kind of like hold. It's on his shoulders. Tends to be at the minute. He does post a lot of links to mods in my Discord for interesting and cool mods that are on the that have been released or that are on their way to being released, kind of thing. He seems to have his ear to the ground very well with that. But yeah, this mod has been on there for a while, and I've been meaning to get my teeth into it and have a look at it. And this is the first save game that I'm running it on, and it does seem really quite cool. It kind of changes rolling resistance, better tire forces. So it's, you know, you need to be more mindful of the weight of the machine that you're in the tractor with the weight of the implement or whatever you're towing behind you. Gravity, when it comes to the whole mass of your convoy on the ground, it kind of affects that. In real life, mass, torque curves in your engines, transmission management, automatic brakes, and all this kind of stuff. It's a massively detailed mod, and I believe it's been created, just reading a little bit of the text from the modder himself. I believe he's a real life farmer, and he's obviously, you know, he enjoys his time playing Farming Simulator and has done for quite a few years. And I think it was essentially just the basic physics of the game that kind of annoyed him. So he's taken it upon himself to create this mod that drastically affects the very basics of the game when it comes to mass and, you know, inertia and all that kind of stuff. So it's an incredible thing, and it does mean that you have to put a bit more thought into the particular scenario you're in at that time. But, you know, what you're towing behind, how much you've got, you know, like for example the lime spreading that we've just done, you know, 14,000 litres of lime in that lime spreader is very, very heavy. So yeah, there's a lot more thought into it, and I think it's an incredible mod. So the reason why I'm bringing it up is obviously you might have noticed that the tractor seemed to struggle on the uphills there, and like I said, I think it's because this tractor in itself is actually on the wrong tyres. This is on narrows, and it needs to be on the wide tyres, and I think it would be a good idea to do that for the seed drilling as well. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to have to spend a couple of quid obviously, but if we go into our Deutz here, customize it, at the minute it's on narrows, so let's pop that onto some wide tyres with some weights. That's better. That's going to cost 7 grand. Goodness me. Right, okay. Yep. There we go. Configuration has been changed, but hopefully that should just work a little bit better, I hope. So, anyway. Right, so seeds in the ground. Let's get it done. Now, we are going to have to make another trip to the shop and purchase some pallets of seed and fertilizer to load up with the seed drill here. Now we're going to concentrate initially, just for the purposes of what's happening for the rest of this episode. We're going to be working in the field next to the farm here, and we're going to stick some barley in there. So that's what we're going to do. Let's just pull this out of here. There we go. Let's change that seed there to barley. We've got the choice of wheat and barley, but I just kind of thought wheat tends to be the one that I tend to, that's always available to us all the time, isn't it? Especially when you start a save, and there's ordinarily always some kind of wheat in the ground, isn't there? So I think just for no other reason, we'll go for barley this time. It makes no difference to the pigs. They'll consume it just as fast, whether it's wheat or barley. So anyway, I'll go down to the shop. I'm going to top this thing up now with some seed and fertilizer, and I'll meet you back at the field here ASAP when we're ready to go. Right, here we are, back at the farm. Let's get this thing unfolded. The brand is actually Sakura, I think it is. It's kind of displayed on the back of it there. I hadn't appreciated that. The Sakura MA Ag SSP 45NZ, to be precise. There you go. That's a mouthful, isn't it? But, yeah, let's get working in this field. Get the first seed in the ground. All this is going to be pig food, of course, but it's got to be done. Perfect day for it, though. Let's get busy. Right, there we go. The barley is in the ground. Our first drilling here in Etruria is done. Lovely job. Now, I'm not too sure what these divots are in the ground. They don't correlate to anything in the map PDA. They don't appear as undrilled areas or missed spots or anything like that. It's just, I'm hoping it's just a visual thing. But yeah, job done nonetheless. As you can see there, the pH values and the nitrogen levels are bang on what they need to be. Of course, we need to run it over with our roller afterwards as well, but I'm going to do that at the same time as in the next episode. We're going to be jumping straight into drilling the wheat field, or what will be the wheat field, field 50 over on the hill in the distance there. Once we've got that drilled, then we'll pull the roller out and we'll get them both done one after the other and get that sorted. And then moving on with the jobs into the future on the farm, I think once the canola, not the wheat field, I said wheat, didn't I? That was the wheat field. It's the canola we're going to be drilling in the next episode, forgive me. But yeah, once that's done, then we need to get the grass cut and get it baled up and put those bales straight into our storage shed, because as soon as that's done, then we'll be ready to spend some money on some sheep, and then a little bit, hopefully not too much longer into the future, we'll be able to spend some money on the pigs as well and get them onto the farm as well. But I think ideally I should wait until next month for that, into when we've got the sugar beet out of the ground, because then we've got almost everything we'll need to feed them. Essentially, we'll have some wheat, we'll have some soybeans. Obviously, once the harvest is done, we've got a little bit of canola, and like I said before, I'll simulate buying in a couple of trailers with the sorghum and probably a couple of extra trailers with the canola as well, just to keep that number topped up for a little bit until the canola that we'll have drilled will be ready to harvest. So that's the game plan moving forward. Hopefully it works in that respect, but I'm really happy with this drill. It's a really nice bit of kit, dead smooth, no problems. It's a decent width as well, 5 meters I felt for this farm. And the tractor here, the Deutzer on the big wheels now, the big chunky tires, that worked an absolute treat. Only took us about an hour to get this one done, so job done, dead happy. But for today's episode, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to call it here. Thank you very much for watching. I really do hope you have enjoyed the episode and found it a little bit of fun and a little bit interesting. As always, if you're new to my channel and you like my content, you like the way I'm doing things, please consider hitting that subscribe button and jumping on board, joining the channel. Please give the video a like if you can. It does do wonders, helps the YouTube algorithm do its thing. And as always, there are a host of links in the video description below with my Giants Partner promo code. If any of you are in the market for purchasing Farming Simulator 25 and you like the idea of supporting the channel and helping out a creator, any help and support there would be massively appreciated. And also, on top of that, if any of you are in the market for an online server to play with your mates and you like the idea again of supporting the channel and helping out a creator, please consider using my G-Portal affiliate link, which again will be in the video description below. Any help and support there also would be massively appreciated. So, thank you very much for your time again, ladies and gentlemen. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one.